Hey everybody, welcome to Face the Music. Look, if you're not a subscriber yet, do me a favor. Reach over, hit that subscribe button. Join this big family. Let's keep all this great music alive together. While you're at it, also set up your notifications so whenever I drop a new episode, you'll be among the first to find out. Okay, so today got a fantastic song for you by none other than the Alan Parsons Project. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Alan Parsons Project, you already know, but for those of you who are not, let me just tell you right now, they are fantastic. Now, the man behind the project is, of course, as the name states, Alan Parsons. Now, Alan Parsons was a sound engineer who was most notably the sound engineer behind such great albums as, in my featured album today, The Beatles' Let It Be. He was the sound engineer behind this album, also their Abbey Road album. He was also the sound engineer behind one of the biggest albums of all time, without question, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And he was also sound engineer behind Ambrosia's debut album back in the mid-'70s. Let me just tell you, so he has got some great creds. Now, at some point along the way, he decided he wanted to go ahead and start his own, as I would say, project, as he would say project, right? That's why he named it that. It wasn't really a band as much as it was a collection of musicians that got together and played some fantastic music. Now, I could sit here all day and just go over all the different musicians that he brought in from here, from there, from other bands, and they collectively formed, maybe the group of instrumentalists and the group of vocalists and the group of, musicians for that particular song. But over the years, they released a lot of great albums, a lot of great songs. And for years and years, they never toured. He didn't, as far as I remember, I read, but Alan Parsons was not interested in touring. He didn't want to tour. He just wanted to release albums, and they had some great albums, some great concept albums, really. But they had some great songs. I was a kid back in the 80s. I was a teenager, and I remember you really couldn't, turn on the radio back in the 80s without hearing an Alan Parsons Project song for the most part. It was hard to do that. You had such great songs that came out. You had, Eye in the Sky, early 80s. You had Prime Time. You had Don't Answer Me. Great songs. And, of course, this song, Time, was a great classic. And a lot of other ones. You guys can check it out for yourselves. But the one thing that all of those songs, those four songs that I just mentioned, have in common is that the same vocalist was the same vocalist for all four songs, and that is a man by the name of Eric Woolfson, who was actually Alan's partner in the project, especially early on. Now, unfortunately, Eric has since passed. But let me just tell you some great music, some great songs that Eric was the lead singer on. And as I said, a lot of other musicians were collaborated in a lot of those Alan Parsons albums and the project songs. And so you didn't always necessarily hear the same lead vocalist. But this song was specifically Time. Of course, as I mentioned, Eye in the Sky, probably one of their most, if not their most notable song in terms of popularity, in terms of at least recognition, I could probably say. And then, of course, you had some of the other great hits that they had. As I mentioned, Don't Answer Me, Prime Time, back in the 80s, that were really just all over the radio, as I said. But now, this episode that I have right now, I went and looked. It's hard to find anything. There are episodes. There is some footage on YouTube featuring Eric Woolfson, but more in his later years, and not really anything in concert that I could find. Now, I did find an episode of some footage that said it's the official video of this song, Time. And it basically just pretty much shows Alan Parsons in the studio, and so most of the footage is Alan Parsons himself, not really Eric, and not really much to do specifically with the song in terms of seeing, the musicianship of the song. So what I did is one thing that I found not too long ago was a concert back in the early 2000s with Alan Parsons Project live in Madrid. And P.J. Olson, at this point in time, was the lead singer for the project, and they had some other musicians, of course, in the band at that time. But it's a great song, and it's a great vocal here by P.J. Olson. So no more talking. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Here we go. Alan Parsons Project, live in Madrid with Time.
I've been listening to this next song since I was like this tall, and completely a privilege of mine to be on stage with Mr. Alan Parsons, and as well, these guys all here, good guys, great band.
Now you'll see Alan Parsons. He's in the center behind PJ up on the riser with the guitar. You'll see him periodically throughout this footage, I think, but it's a fantastic song.
flowing like a river. To the sea.
Great song.
Goodbye, my love. Maybe for forever. Goodbye, my love. The tide it waits for me. Who knows when we shall meet again? If ever. But time keeps flowing like a river. On and on to the sea. To the sea. Till it's gone forever. Gone forever. Gone forever.
Very true. It's a great message behind this song, I tell you. There's Alan Parsons there.
Goodbye, my love. Maybe for forever. Goodbye, my love. The stars they wait for me. Who knows when we shall meet again? If ever. But time keeps flowing like a river. On and on to the sea. To the sea. Till it's gone forever. Gone forever. Forevermore.
Great performance.
PJ Elson.
There you have it, the Alan Parsons Project, live in Madrid. I think it was actually in 2004 that this footage is from, a live performance of Time. And let me just say, that's a fantastic song. I love that song. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. If you're familiar with it, you already knew what to expect. And if you're not, if you weren't familiar with it, and this was the first here for you, man, I really hope you enjoyed it. And it's one of those songs that because of the way that the song is formed and just, the melody and just the tempo, it just puts you in such a relaxed mood. And, so as I was sitting there and listening to it and checking out the footage with you guys, I mean, I was just watching every single aspect of that and just listening and just, soaking it all in. In that song, the message is so great. Talking about time, talking about, I think it's really just the idea of, we don't always know when we meet people or when we have people in our lives. If we say goodbye, we don't know if we're going to ever see them again. We just don't know. And, and you can really probably like the basic actual lyrics of that song and go, word by word and kind of apply it to a lot of different situations. That's the way that I kind of interpret it, and I kind of like look at it as just an appreciation for, an understanding of how time works in terms of, making sure that you enjoy every moment, because you don't know if you're going to ever have a moment like that again, and you're not going to be in that situation again, and just to appreciate those around you. I tell you, it's just, to me, it's a great song. It's a positive message, but I tell you, it is just the way that the tempo is. It's just such a super relaxing song. It just makes you contemplate. Really, it just puts me in a contemplative mood. It really, really does. So I would encourage, of course, that was P.J. Olson, as you heard, as lead singer. Alan Parsons, of course, in the background, as I said at the outset of the video, with the beard, the long, beard, mustache, long jacket, and the guitar. If you're not familiar with who Alan Parsons is, but like I said, he didn't really want to take the project out on the road. Again, it was just a compilation of different musicians, so it's probably going to be kind of hard to take them all out. And so it was years and years before he actually decided, okay, I'll step out from behind the mixing board, from behind being a sound engineer, and I'll actually go out there and we'll perform a lot of these songs and perform our music live. And so that was a big step. And so, I'm not 100% clear. I haven't really checked anytime recently in the last while whether or not they actually still perform live. As I said, this was a 2004 concert. They may not. I don't know 100% for sure. But I would definitely, if I'm you, I'd definitely go back and I would check out their other music, all their great, great albums, that they ever released. Some great, great music. And also check out the original album version featuring Eric Wolfson, lead vocalist on that version of this song, as well as all the other great music, as I said, that Alan Parsons Project put out. And also, of course, all the other great songs that Eric himself was lead vocalist on. I really enjoyed that footage. I really enjoyed that song. I hope that you did as well. Okay, so that's enough for today. As I said at the outset, if you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit subscribe. Also like and share. Also check down below and you'll see a hashtag. Hit that, Face the Music Reactions. It'll redirect you to another page. You'll find a lot of other great music, a lot of other great artists, a lot of other great songs that I'm sure that you'll enjoy as well. Come on back. We've got a lot of other stuff, great music in store for you, lined up, including, coming up very, very shortly, a song by none other than these guys. Okay? I hope to see you next time right here on Face the Music. Take care.